Okay, it should be live to YouTube. Welcome, everybody. Leslie from Sew A Lot Creative Sewing Centers in Lexington, Kentucky and Centerville, Ohio. We are here with your Kimberbell Demo December day number 3. So we are going to get started here in just a couple minutes. Thank you for joining us. And remember, after day 3, you can turn in your card by submitting the 3 words either in store or you can email it to us at sewalotonline@gmail.com. You can email your submission of your 3 words or bring them into the store. And then from there, we will email you a copy of the design. We just need to make sure that you submit your words by December the 31st so that we can email you the design. After that, we will no longer be allowed to do that. So just make sure you get it in before the cutoff and we will get you your cute little Demo December penguin design and instruction set. So we will go over all of that again at the end, but I just wanted to make sure that you remember to listen for your words. If this is the first demo you're joining us for, you can go back and watch the other 2 demos. They are recorded on our YouTube channel. You also will have links for those in your emails. And just make sure you give us the 3 magic words or phrases, and we will get you your cute little design. We appreciate you joining us. So today, we're going to talk about a couple different things. One, our main focus is going to be talking about piecing in the hoop. I love piecing in the hoop because if I don't piece in the hoop, it doesn't get done very straight, right? Like, I sew a little like this. So piecing in the hoop is a great technique. What's really fun, cool collections that we have from Embroidery. Kimberbell has lots and lots of different options for things, but I always like to kind of push the envelope and create something outside of what the directions tell me to do. Let me know if you're having trouble with sound, okay? I had a couple notifications that it was in and out, so.
Yeah, you have been going in and out, and I can't decipher if it's when you turn your head away or not.
Okay, so let's try this. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, we're just gonna go that way. Okay, so I like to go outside of the box. I have a tendency not to do what somebody tells me to do. It's really hard. Like, this is super cute and that is great, but for me to follow the directions and do what I'm supposed to do is just really difficult. So I, of course, get a design and I see something totally different than what I'm being told to do with it, right? So I want you all to think about that, because that is like one of the biggest questions I get is, how do you come up with all your ideas? Well, a lot of it is just, stuff going on in my head. But a lot of it comes from ideas like you go into a store and you see something made, or you get on Pinterest, or you get a magazine and you see pillows, or you see this, or you see that. And I think, oh, I can make that. And then I have to go, okay, well, where do I have a design that's similar to that in embroidery? Because that's the only way it's getting done in my world, right? And I think, okay, I have this design from this collection. I could pull it over and I could put these things together. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we can kind of think outside of the box as we talk about piecing in the hoop. So, we're going to talk about piecing in the hoop first, and then we're going to go outside of the box all at the same time. Okay, so first thing I want to do is talk about how to create this pillow. So this is actually made from Kimberbell Designs. All of it is made from Kimberbell Designs. This is not a collection, okay? This is where I've mashed up some collections together to create this fun little wreath. And we're going to talk about how to do the actual piecing in the hoop, because that's a concept that everybody isn't always familiar with. But then we're going to talk about how I came up with this concept, and I'll pass this around so you guys can see it if you want to. Let's see, I can toss it at you. All right. So first off, when it comes to piecing in the hoop, this is a really cool technique if you've never tried it. It kind of reminds you of paper piecing. But personally, people either love paper piecing or don't love paper piecing. It's one or the other. The one thing about paper piecing that is fabulous is that it's always perfect, right? Everything always looks perfect. The other thing about paper piecing is it's a little bit tedious. I don't do tedious. Like, that is not my world, right? I would never finish it. But piecing in the hoop is a lot like paper piecing. We piece by number, kind of. And it gives us those same really nice, perfect pieces, stitching and alignment. But it's a little bit quicker, and I don't have to be quite so precise because the machine's going to do it for me. So I'm going to switch cameras so you can see how this concept works, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the wreath and where it came from. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call up my design on screen, and I have a no-show mesh cutaway stabilizer in the hoop, and I'm just going to stitch the outline or the pattern or template right onto the stabilizer. It is a Kimberbell design. And you're going to go, oh. You're going to love it. Because even some of the girls in here went, where'd you get that? And you probably have it. It's like suspense. I'm making you all wait to find out where this came from. So it's going to keep stitching that template, and it's going to draw a map. The map is going to allow us to know where the fabric needs to go, and it's going to allow us to know which direction we need to fold it, how we need to center it to get those nice coverages and pretty seams. And each week I've tried to be really fair and good. And every week, if you've noticed, I've stitched on a different brand of machine. I worked on the Foth the first week. I think the Husqvarna the second week. And this week we're using a Bernina. So these processes and techniques can be used on any of your embroidery machines. I get that question a lot. Well, can my machine do that? So long as you have the hoop size, yes, your machine can do that. I love this hat, but it's fallen off because I'm moving around too much. So, yes, you all can do it so long as your hoop is big enough. So once I'm going to move a little closer so you can see. Once our map is created on the stabilizer, you're going to actually have maps in the instructions that look just like this for whatever design file you're using. So wherever you get your piece in the hoop or piece by number design, there's going to be a drawing in the instructions that looks just like this stitch out that you just created. And it's actually going to have numbers on it. It's going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 on the paper. Yeah.
Is that like embroidery by number that Kimberbell has? Is that what we're doing?
This
here?
is, yeah, same kind of concept. Yep.
Hey, Leslie. Somebody made a comment that they can't always hear the question that somebody's asking in the classroom. So could you like repeat the question before you answer it so that they know what you're answering?
Definitely. So somebody asked if this was like the Kimberbell piece by number. And it is, that's exactly what this is. So in your instruction from wherever you find your design, so I'm going to tell you where this came from in just a minute, but wherever this design came from, you're going to have a set of instructions, whether it be a PDF or in a book or that sort of thing. There's going to be a picture that looks just like this, and the picture is going to actually have numbers on it. Also, your cut list is going to have numbers that coordinate with the numbers there, so you know what size to cut your fabrics. Now, when I made this particular sample, I knew that I wanted my fabrics to be a variety of different colors throughout. So I just cut mine all for the largest size that I was going to need. I have a little more waste that way, but I made this entire thing from scrap. So it was okay if I used a little bigger pieces. But you definitely can use smaller pieces in some of these areas. But when we piece by number or piece in the hoop, the first piece we lay down and the area that we cover is always going to be with the fabric right side up. So pretty side up. And then we're going to stitch that in place. Typically, it's just going to stitch down one side of that piece. And then from here, and I'm going to take this off so you can see a little better. From here, after we've stitched down that piece, you're always going to have a short side, and the instructions will explain which side to cut from. You're going to trim away the flange on the short side. We're going to get piece number 2 ready. So in my diagram, this section is piece number 2. And I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to center it on that line. Again, this is a little bigger piece because I used it for all the areas. I'm going to center it on that line. This time we're going to go, and I'm going to change so you can see a little better. I'm going to go right side down. So I'm going to put right sides together, just like I would be sewing if I was quilting, if I were piecing 2 pieces of fabric together. And then we're going to piece that in place. It's going to stitch down that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then, thank you.
Leslie, can you tilt that way at all? It's blinding your ear.
And then from there, before we flip this piece of fabric open, I'm going to use my Clover Fold and Press fabric folding pin. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's absolutely amazing. If you have one of these in your sewing room, make sure you know where it is, because if you're doing piecing in the hoop, this is a wonderful addition. We don't have to go to the ironing board between every piece of stitching. So I'm just going to I'm going to wet that slightly, and then I'm going to flip this open and finger press it. That's going to give me a nice crisp press without having to go to the ironing board. Okay. From there, I'm going to go back. Hold on, I have a little thread jam I have to clear. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. It always happens that way, right?
And after you put the hoop on.
Right after you put the hoop on. Just so you guys know that I'm a real person, just like all of you. So people say to me all the time, you never have. I do.
Yeah.
We all do. And I did a good number here.
Yeah.
There we go. So there you go, bonus. If you ever get thread caught, you're gonna pop your needle plate off. And then once it finishes there, we're gonna kind of keep this same method all the way around the block. So that first initial piece, when we piece in the hoop, is what is going to be face up, and then everything after is gonna be pretty side down. And you're gonna line it up on that line, and we want to make sure we cover the area we're working with.
Please readjust your camera. It's not lined up. They can't see. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're gonna trim, we're gonna lay that next piece of fabric right side down. It's gonna stitch along here, we're gonna wet it, we're gonna flip it and fold it, and we're gonna create that all the way around. So we're gonna follow that technique all the way around the block until we get all those pieces. So I'm too far away from the table. There we go. Oh, see, that's the problem. When I have to sit so far away from the table and the machine because of all the camera equipment. From here, just gonna wet and flip and fold. And you can take the hoop off to do this. If you have a trim position on your machine, you can use that, which works very nicely. And then we just stitch the next step. Off the excess along that line. Another piece. So we're just going to continue this process all the way around until we have a completed block, just like this. Okay. So does that concept make sense to everybody? I won't stitch the whole thing. I don't think you need to see that. Once you have this, we're just going to trim this 1/4 inch all the way around that outside stitching line. I didn't forget you. I'm bringing you. I'm bringing you with me. I'm just going to take this and trim this block up.
Some of it's gonna be, that's what your boat on. Yeah, that's your.
And from there, you have your block. Okay, super easy, right? So then to make that wreath, I just thought about it and I needed some blocks that were solid green. I needed some blocks that were solid white, and then I needed some blocks that were half and half. Okay. And then from there, it's just like a puzzle. You just have to build it.
And you assemble your pieces in the typical manner.
And then I just assemble my pieces in the typical manner. Yep. And then I would have a solid green block here and a solid green block here and a solid green here and a solid white here. And when I say solid, it's the log cabin block, but it's just made out of all of the greens or all of the whites to create that wreath shape. Just like the pillow.
Leslie, so you had 4 half and halves, 4 solids,
Right.
and 4 and one
And one
white.
white. Yep. So I used 4 of these half and half blocks. And with the half and halves, I used the green for my center. So technically half would be, you know, so I used the green for the center. And then white on the outside edges. So these will puzzle in just like this with green blocks here, here, and a white in the center. From there, I knew I wanted it a little bit bigger, so I just added a white border around the outside edge. And then I created a flanged quilted border using the the clear blue tile designs, quilting designs for block by block borders from Kimberbell to create the flanged edge. And I also used the Christmas light bulbs to quilt this with. That is also a Kimberbell quilting design. Now the bow came from, well, before we go there, we'll talk about where the log cabin came from. So the log cabin, we've all probably seen spring showers, the spring showers quilt, right? There are a couple log cabin quilt blocks used within this in your settings. So I just took that design and said, what else can I make with that? Or I want to make a wreath that looks like a log cabin, but I don't want to make a log cabin block, but I have one already built in. So when you look at these quilts and you think, oh, I don't know that that's, I mean, I'm going to make that. Is it really worth the investment, or do I want to do that? There's so many other things you can do with each one of these block elements. Now, some of them are going to be very seasonally specific, right? But anytime you see these pieces in the hoop blocks, they can be used for anything. You mix up your colors and you can make them into anything you want. So this is where the wreath block came from. Pretty cool, huh?
Hey, Leslie,
Yes.
we have a question.
Yes.
Is they noticed you didn't have any fusible backing on your pieces. Any rules when to use and when you don't use, need to use the fusible?
Okay, so fusible backing. There's a few different kinds of fusible backing. There's like a woven fusible backing that would be like woven fusible or SF101, those products. Those I tend to use on the back of fabric when it might be used as an applique and it's going to be a lighter color on top of a darker color. I use a woven fusible or an SF101 on the back of my base fabric sometimes to help stabilize stitches that are going to be on top of it. But in this instance, there's nothing that really needs extra stabilizer. The no-show mesh, the cutaway that's in the hoop, is what is going to stabilize the design. It's a pretty light amount of stitching. And we don't want the block to get real stiff and heavy. So we don't really want that extra thickness in there. When you talk about fusible backing, that's like a double-sided fusible backing, like soft fuse or fusible web or something of that nature. Those I use on the back of my appliques, even in embroidery. For the most part, it's going to give you a nice flat applique that's going to not pucker when it stitches and bubble. So in those instances, those are where I would use those different types of fusible backings. And we can always talk more about that if you have more questions, but hopefully that helps answer that question. We want these to just kind of be like light quilt blocks, just like we would with anything else, so that we can put them together. And then after we put them together, I put a piece of fusible batting on the whole white piece, white and green out here, and then I quilted through it. So it just has one layer of batting, and you don't have to use fusible batting because it was a pillow. I knew I wasn't putting a backing on it. I just used a one layer fusible batting, stuck it to it, and then I didn't have to use glue, which I love to not use glue. So then I decided my wreath needed a bow. And I thought, well, I'm certain I have a bow somewhere. So if you look at Timberbell's Cup of Cheer, this cute little wreath has a cute little 3-dimensional bow. And I said, that's going to be perfect, except it's too small. It's pretty little on the original. So I put that into, you can either take it into the machine, or I took it into software and I resized the size of the bow to make it a little bit larger to put onto the wreath.
Question.
Yes.
Do you ever use tearaway for your quilt blocks?
Tearaway? Not very often, no.
I don't either.
I prefer the no-show mesh. It's a stronger stabilizer and it doesn't leave, I mean, even though tearaway tears away, it still leaves some residue that is kind of thick. Then you have thick spots and that sort of thing. I just prefer the cutaway.
The only time that I will use something extra instead of tearaway, if I need more stability, I'll fuse a fusible fleece to the back of the fabric.
Yes, or a woven fusible or an SF101. Yeah, I'll float tearaway under something, but not so much in my quilts. I use that for other strange projects, bags, pillows, other things. So all of the designs for this pillow, even though it's not a collection that somebody gave me instructions and told me how to make it, all came from Kimberbell. I just took the concepts from a lot of the different pieces and projects that we have and put them together. So see how thinking outside of the box, you can utilize all those designs that you have to do so much more than what you're told to do with them. And I know you're all capable. I do. You can do it. Trust me, I'm telling you, most of my ideas don't come out of my head. Most of my ideas come from just walking around. Like if I'm in a store and I see something, I'm like, ooh, I like that. I could make that. And I just then go searching for the designs and things that I want to create that look and kind of put them together. So we've already taken designs from Spring Showers and from Cup of Cheer, and we've created a new project. In the meantime, I'm working on, now this is a prototype. It's not the right sizes because I did this last night at like, I don't know, midnight, and didn't really feel like doing the math. So I just wanted to do a concept, and then I'll do the real thing later. But this, eventually, once it's sized out right, will be placemats. Okay, so they'll be longer and not quite so wide. But this piece in the hoop, of course, I did not sew these flying geese regular style. That's not in my world. I went to my design collections and I found a smaller flying geese quilt in the, or piece in the hoop project that is located on this Lucko the Gnome St. Patrick's Day bench pillow.
Leslie, Another question. I know you answered, but this is for everybody. Do you have a white border around the pillow?
I do have a white border around the pillow, and I'll show you again in a minute. I'll hold it back up and I'll show you in the big camera. But real quick, while we're using this camera, so what I did is I took the Luck of the Gnome. There's a small segment of flying geese right here, and I just doubled it to get the length I wanted. And then I sewed those together. I pieced them together like regular stitching. And then I said, okay, I know I've got some quilting in the hoop designs. I can create a section for the center. I can create my pieced border. I can create another pieced border on this side. I can create another quilted border on the outside edge. So you have lots of options. You can kind of mix this up and put things together. This again is just using the block by block method of Kimberbell quilting and just picking the size you want, and it's going to do that for you. And then actually after I pieced these together, I decided I wanted it to have the matching quilting that I had here and here. So again, I pulled up the block by block quilting method. I measured my strip. The width of it was, I think it was 2.5 inches. So I pulled up the 2 by 14 inch length of quilting. And then when it gave me my placement stitch to lay down my fabric, I used my lines that were stitched, my placement lines that were stitched for this, lined those up with the placement lines on my batting, and then it tacked this down and did the same quilting centered right on top. So you don't have to do what they tell you. You can mix and match those things up. You don't have to put a plain piece down to quilt a border. It can be a piece of fabric to quilt the border. So lots of different options there. The other fun thing is you could do with this, when you know, your center section, if you wanted it to be, if you wanted it to have an embroidery design on it, we could put, after we do the quilting, we could stitch these penguins or this penguin and these mittens right in the middle of this placemat, or somebody's name, or there's all kinds of things. Think of all the Christmas, you know, or Thanksgiving or Halloween or whatever theme you want to make your placemats. You could make them to match, but they're not just a plain piece of fabric with a design in the middle. You can make them a little more decorative with quilting. You can make them decorative with piecing. And you don't have to go out and find a design that tells you to do that. This is another version of a piece in the hoop block. So this is the piece in the hoop block. There's 4 of them. And then I just added some filler fabrics here to create my square since they were rectangles. This came from Candy Corn Quilt Shop. If you've done this project, it has the flying geese in here as well. And I just took those, and in one corner of each block, the same corner of each block, instead of putting the same background fabric, I chose a different color that would stand out. And when these intersect together, it creates a pinwheel in the center. So you could use this for a quilt block. You could use this for a table topper. You could use it, you know, for a trivet. You could put insole right behind it. You could bind it. You could make pillows. All kinds of things. And you didn't have to go out and find another design collection. You have one right there. So always, always, always look through your designs to see what you have. So like this is another great option. The bench buddies, this little January bench buddy has this really cute crazy patch block that's all made in the hoop. You could put these together. You could create a border with this. You could do all kinds of fun stuff. Just make as many of them as you need, piece them together, and off you go. You've got borders, you've got stripes, you've got all kinds of fun things. So that's another little guy. If you're looking for more fun things that are pieced in the hoop that maybe aren't quite so intense right off the bat, the placemat or the placemats, the hot pads are a fun way to start with piecing in the hoop. These will create the background fabric, and it will add the borders, and then the applique gets added on top.
Tilt that up a little bit, it's getting a reflection. There you go.
Thank you. The applique then just goes on top, but maybe you don't want to do a Christmas applique on top of yours. Maybe you just want to take the background, create the background, add borders to it for something else, and then take an embroidery design from one of your other collections and add an applique on top. And you can create pot holders for any concept. The girl's probably gonna be mad at me because I'm telling you to make your own stuff.
Well,
But-
you still bought
but
that.
you bought- yeah,
Yes,
you
yes,
bought-
still bought that.
You bought the packages, but it's just giving you more opportunity. It kind of opens up doors for possibilities with stuff that you already have. Don't think that it is only used for one concept. Miss Kim back here did this with the table toppers. When there's in one of the original table toppers, there's a snowman table topper, and in there they use a snowball block. Okay. Well, instead of piecing the snowball block like it says, she came to her winter whimsy bench pillow where they have a pieced in the hoop snowball block and used that and applied it to her table topper that she was going to have to sew those blocks. Instead, she was able to piece them in the hoop. So this is another place where you can look for those pieced in the hoop blocks and you can utilize those elsewhere. They don't just have to be used for the border on this pillow. Some other fun piece in the hoop projects, there's a couple little purses in the crossbody trio. These make fun little blocks that you can use for other things. This is kind of fun. You could take and turn this, do 4 of these and turn them where the points are all out and create a block with something like a burst from the center. So just look at designs a different way than what you're told to do with it. That's my biggest piece of advice. Get out of what somebody tells you and do it your way. So I'm going to switch cameras here. Okay. Don't want you to get too much reflection there. So we've talked about a lot of different stuff. It's what happens in my head. So I'm going to go back to this just because somebody asked. Yes, I put those 9 blocks together, created this inner piece, and then I took and cut a border, a white, just a solid white border around the edge and pieced that on. Once that was pieced on, then I quilted the whole thing using the clear blue tiles in this cute little light bulb design. And then I came back and I created these borders on the green in the hoop using the block by block border method from the quilting design collections. And then just added my backing and then stitched in the ditch along that border to create the casing for my 18-inch pillow. Added the bow that I enlarged. You could realistically attach this with like a small Velcro dot or something of that nature, because then you could change it out. You could embellish this, and you could, if you didn't use Christmas light bulbs, if you use something else a little more generic for quilting, you could put something on there for St. Patrick's Day. So you could use, you could use a shamrock. You could use something else. But also think about this. You could make wreath pillows in any color combination you wanted. You could do Valentine's Day. You could do fall, right? There's all kinds of stuff. So even when you look at this log cabin block and you go, okay, let's make a Christmas wreath. It doesn't have to be a Christmas wreath. It could be any kind of wreath, you know, it could be for any time of year, day. So think about that. Just changing up your color choices and what your embellishment will be will give you some different ideas there. So our cute little pillow here, right? I told you right off the bat, I get this design, they send it to me and I go, okay, I'll make that. I have to make that. Just like they told me to, I have to make that. And it's really cute. It's very super cute. So I got this all made, but of course ideas are just running through my little brain. And one of the things, and I didn't get this stitched, but one of the things I want to make with this is I want to put this on the front of an apron, right? Cute little guy on the front of an apron, and add some ruffles with coordinating fabric to the bottom of the apron. Super easy, right? Just cut your strips, roll hem your edge, and gather them up, stick them at the bottom. That's just like that. A winter hat. A winter hat would be a very good idea. I love the idea of stay cozy. So I took an embroidery buddy penguin and stitched the words stay cozy on his belly and kind of mocked up that design. If you haven't seen these before, they're very fun. They come in lots of different options. They actually are made to embroider on. He's got so much fur. I've got his zipper stuck, I think. Here we go.
They come pre-made.
They come pre-made. They come pre-made and they unzip. Their stuffing is all in a little case. And then you can hoop them. Now you can't do huge things, right? Because it's a pretty small surface, but you hoop them. This now penguin body.
Who makes it?
Embroidery Buddy. And we can show you a link that has all the different ones, and we just don't stock them all because there's so many. And then you just stitch out what you want on there, and you'll even notice they even have these seams that work as your centering seams, which is really nice. There's one at the top and one at the bottom to help you keep things nice and straight. And a tip on these, if you do them upside down, if you rotate your design upside down and stitch them backwards, it makes it a little bit easier. Upside down, not backwards. Just because of the head, it keeps him out here instead of him getting caught behind your foot. So if we do him upside down. So these are really fun. We have a bunch of these at my house. My niece has one of these penguins, and the poor little guy looks really rough because he has been loved a lot. So that's just, first thing I thought was, oh, I have to make a matching penguin to go with my pillow. So we have a matching penguin. Also, I thought, let's take this design and add it to something a little bigger. So I put the stay cozy just like it was, changed up my color combination and added it to the bottom corner of one of these lumbar pillows that Kimberbell has, the quilted pillow blanks. Added it to the corner there, stuffed it with my pillow. Quick, easy gift if you're going to somebody's house. Like, this would be a great fun thing to take with you. And the little pillows are very cute, but maybe not always as usable, practical, right? So we can enlarge that, put it on something big. It doesn't necessarily have to go in the middle. We can position that wherever we want to.
But the little one is good for your doll.
The little one, it's cute. I have a little rocking chair that I change out my little ones in the rocking chair. So let's see. Other places, I want you to think outside the box. So the little gnome mug rug that is in, I'm not even gonna guess.
Use for the penguin's body, is that cuddle?
It's, yeah, and it is cuddle in his little belly. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that before we go too. I have to talk faster because we're getting Mug Rugs 3. Thank you. In Mug Rugs 3, there is this cute little gnome, and he doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas gnome, but if you use Christmas fabric, you can make him into a Christmas gnome. But maybe you want him to be a Valentine's gnome. So you make him into a Valentine's gnome, but this time instead of stitching, there's no place like gnome. We just leave that off, and with our machine fonts, I just dropped in over top of it, be my gnome, and stitch that instead. So lots of different options. Just by changing up fabrics, maybe even changing up words, you can get a totally different design. Kimberbell has these great wine bottle blanks, right? So you can take these and you can stitch out something fun, put a wine bottle in it, make it for a gift. But
Leslie, somebody posted that the gnome comes from Mug Rugs 3.
Mug Rugs 3, thank you. The wine bottle bags, you don't have to use them as a wine bottle bag. You take two of them and put them together and you can make a gift bag.
Oh my God. Never thought of that.
Right? So instead of just sewing the one up together, I just took two. I did an embroidery. This is from Curated Christmas. Thank you, Terry. I was gonna say the Fa La 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 collection. It's the one that has the big Fa La 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 collection. I just took 2 of the wine bottle bags after I embroidered on one of them and I sewed up the side seams. I laid them flat on top of each other, sewed up the side seams and created square corners on the bottom. And now I have a gift bag that's embroidered. Very cute. And kind of fancy looking because it's on this velveteen, right? Like, ooh la la. So you could make your own little Santa bag. They've got the cute little burgundy, like, wouldn't that be fun to do your little Santa bags? Yeah. Yeah. So again, think outside the box. You don't have to do what they tell you. My first thought was, what am I going to do with wine bags? I don't drink any wine. I wouldn't even know how to buy wine for somebody. It would probably be gross. I would pick out the gross stuff. Nobody wants that in my world. Trust me. So yeah, there's another way we can think outside the box.
Hey,
So-
Leslie, your label on the burgundy wine bag, where is that from?
Okay, so
Or do you-
the I knew someone was gonna ask that question. So somebody asked where the label on my wine bag came from. It says bag of cheer, Santa approved, happy holidays. So this actually came from one of the digital dealers exclusives for this year for 2022. It's still available. You can still get it. It was in the month of June or July. I'm not sure, but it doesn't really matter at this point. And it was 2 little cinch bags in the hoop. One said Santa mail and it had a cute little picture of Santa. The other one said bag of coal, Santa approved, try again next year. And I just took that label and I changed it up. Instead of bag of coal, I put bag of cheer, and then happy holidays where it, so you can see again, I just took that and changed that up. And then instead of making it on a cinch bag, I put it on the front of my wine bottle bag. So, thank you. I knew I was prepared.
Somewhere.
I was prepared. Okay, so I think that's everything that I have today, unless anybody has any specific questions.
Do you have the pillow kit for the? Yeah.
Yes, okay. So somebody just asked, do we have the kits available for the design? Yes, at the end of this, when you submit your 3 words, either by coming into the store and turning in your card or emailing us at sewalotonline@gmail.com, your 3 magic words, we will email you back the design file as well as the instruction files. If you would like a fabric kit, I haven't given you the word yet. You're not there yet. You have to wait just another minute. Actually, I have a super special message with our magic word this week. So, if you're interested in a kit for the pillow, just like this, we have those available. You will need to reach out to the Ohio store. We will get your kit for you, and depending on where you are, we'll either ship it or we'll send it down to Lexington, or you can pick it up here. We do have a limited number of these cut, but we are making more because we just got some more of the fabric in. But they are available. It has the pillow form, it has the roll of velveteen that you need, the glitter, the minky, the polka dotted background, the scarf fabric, the binding, all of it is in there. They're $27.99. And we can get you one of those. Just let us know here in Centerville. You can even email us that request as well.
You were gonna mention cuddle?
Cuddle. So his belly, thank you. His belly, and this is per the instructions, are made using the cuddle fabric. So at home, I know you can't necessarily see that. Get it closer. And then the black part is all done with stitching. So it's just a little tiny piece of cuddle. You'll use a piece of either wash away or heat away topper over top of that. to cover it up and keep your stitches from sinking. I will tell you, probably gonna get yelled at for this too. When you get ready to do the black portion, it calls for the black topping that goes over top of that to cover the background and so you don't show peek through. I didn't have any when I made mine. And so I thought I'm gonna wing it and see what happens. I didn't need it. It didn't show through. I didn't have any problems. I did use the topper on top of just the clear topper on top of my cuddle fabric, but I didn't use the black cover up there. So if you don't have it, don't panic, you'll be fine. Just FYI. I mean, it does have its purpose in its place, but they made the stitching very nice and dense on that, so you don't really tend to see the peek through there. So, okay, Thomas, are you there? I think you're muted.
I am muted. So sorry.
Okay.
How do I view stream on YouTube? So I need to go to YouTube, right?
Maybe. Where do you have it loaded? Is it a screen?
Yeah, she told me I have it on my desktop.
Okay, so can you screen share it
How do I screen share it?
down at the bottom?
Where? Like
Like where it says share screen?
share screen. Oh, you're clever. Oh, that's cute. I need help. So after I do advance, no files. It's supposed to, isn't it supposed to just pop up if I have it?
Hold on. How do I unpin me? Because I forgot about that.
I'd have to request control. There he is. There he is.
Yeah, but we got to be able to see your computer screen. Oh yeah, right down there at the bottom. Do you see the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go there.
Now just double click on it.
Yep.
Okay. Now how do I include the video?
There you go.
Oh, that's not the video we want. That's not the right video.
No, it's not.
That's me.
It's this one. There we go.
Okay. Let's see if we
Can
can.
everybody see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Leslie, I can't say his name correctly.
This is a message from Erasmus. He is actually works for SVP Worldwide, which is the company that makes Singer Viking and Foff, Singer Husqvarna Viking and Foff. And he has sent you a Christmas message. Oh no.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Mute you. I thought that was his voice.
No, it's supposed to have volume. Oh, wait. All right, let's do this again.
Start it over. People are like, what is happening?
I'm sorry. New to this.
My name is Rasmus Stenbecken. I work for SVP Worldwide of Sweden. Hello, my name is Rasmus Stenbecken. I work for SVP Worldwide of Sweden office. And this asked me to teach you guys some Swedish. So I figured I'd send you a holiday greeting from Swedish. So, god jul och gott nytt år. Från oss alla till er alla. En riktigt god jul. Not so hard. Thank you.
Did everybody hear that? Oh, because it was the volume from here.
It was pretty garbled.
Well, that's his voice.
That's his voice, yeah. Yeah, because I just listened to it on the YouTube because I have my cell phone on YouTube and it comes through on the YouTube.
So just unshare your screen now.
Couldn't understand anything he said.
That's because it was in Swedish. He said Merry Christmas, everybody. And a little bit more.
So everybody, so that you can see that, replay it on YouTube and you'll be able to hear it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everybody who was online could hear it,
Yes.
but those who weren't,
Yes. So in the spirit of fun, since, some of our we're trying to represent all of our brands. We've got Swiss, we've got Swedish, we've got, all of the above. We decided that, well, our word for this week would be Good Yule, which means Merry Christmas. If you can't remember that, you can tell us Merry Christmas in Swedish.
Oh, now Leslie, before you go,
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
somebody asked could you please explain more of the Kimberbell 2023 club?
yes, okay. So, I think you should have gotten a link with this in your email, about the Kimberbell Digital Dealer exclusive for 2023. The pillow kits for the little penguin pillow are $27.99. Digital dealer exclusive for 2023. I've been struggling with the year. Is a monthly sign up. You can do it month by month, or you can do it for the whole year. It's $12 per month if you choose to do pick and choose. If you want to sign up for the whole year, you'll actually get 13 designs, because you'll get a bonus, and it's $120. If you're a repeat club member, there is a repeat from 2022. There is a bonus special price for that as well, if you sign up for the whole year. So if you were a club member this year, make sure you let us know, and we will get you signed up at the we'll call it I don't know, what do you call that, like a not a courtesy, the word's gone, frequent flyer bonus price, right? Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to get a design every month, and instructions for it. It would be sent to you via email, and we will also send you a video each month of us going through the project, explaining it step by step, as well as giving you any bonus ideas that come out of my little brain that go along with the design for that month. So it's a really kind of fun way to get going if you're new to embroidery, if you just want to add some extra elements to your embroidery collections so you can mix and match and create some new things. There's some really cute designs in the 12 months plus bonus for this year, and you can see all of those. We've got a YouTube video up about those. We linked it in our email. We'll put it on our Facebook. You can come into the store. We've got pictures and signs of all of them, but you can sign up at any point. If you want to get in for the whole year, if you want to get signed up before the end of the year, that would be just beneficial to you. You'll receive your emails on the first of the month, every month, and that will have all of your information. So if you have more questions about that, please let us know, but it is a good time. We had a lot of fun with it this year. We're changing it up just a little, but we're still going to get you your videos and your bonus ideas. It's just going to kind of all be in one fell swoop. So
Okay.
that helps.
Nothing. Somebody just commented that they want a kit. Again, everybody call the Ohio store to get your kit.
You can email us a request for a kit at solotonline@gmail.com. You can do that when you submit your words if you want to, or you can stop in, or you can give us a call. Just remember, if we don't answer the phone, leave us a voicemail. We will call you back. We check that voicemail regularly, and the phone rings off the hook here. So sometimes we don't necessarily get to every phone call because it'll roll to voicemail. So yeah, but yeah, just make sure that you stop in and submit your words, or send us an email and submit your words, and we will get you your design sent out. Just make sure you get that done before the end of December. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it and look forward to it. If you have questions, you know where to reach us, and stop in, see us, call us, or send us an email. Visit us on Facebook. We'll see you on Monday, I think, maybe.
Yeah, Monday, 9:30.
Yeah, Monday at 9:30.
Everybody have a great weekend.
The word is, somebody asked, they missed the word. The word for this week is Good Yule, or Merry Christmas in Swedish. You can say that. Thanks for our message, Rasmus.